do you believe that if Germany do not bring more, and you already answered, so I know the answer. If
Mhm.
Germany do not bring more people, it will just disappear by in like 100 or 200 years.
Mhm.
Okay, and so the immigration is needed, and why is it so? Because the fertility rate in Germany is low, and if I was a government and I cared about my country, which let's face it, I don't want to open the philosophical argument that governments are not there
Please
for the
open
benefits
it.
of the people, but let's say I mean, if I had the good of Germany, let's say I was German and I love Germany and I want Germany to persist, I want the cultural values of Germany to just persist. The first thing I will be concerned to fix is the birth rate, the low fertility rate of German women. That's the problem I will be looking at, and that is closer to my area of expertise. By the way, that's what I study. That's what I focus on more, and I think after
Your area of
I
expertise
can get.
is fertility of German women?
And I said it that's something I spent way more time studying. Let's put it that way.
Sure. Tell us
And
about it. Tell
yeah,
me about it.
so okay, so I'm glad that you're interested in this point. So I believe that it all started when and I know that you will feel tempted to interrupt me, but let me finish this
Sure.
sequence, okay?
Sure.
uh, the government's goal is always to have more taxes because there are certain people who benefit when the majority of people pours in more taxes, and the most logical thing to do was to make women work because that will just easily just double down on the workforce, and also it will create a lot of jobs like nursing, and women will have to put their kids in childcare, they will have to hire someone else to take care of the children, and it is just a lot of more money to the government. And now that we have women who are working, we go back to the dating and seldom whatever subjects, and it becomes the advantage that a man could have as someone who's providing for a family becomes less and less relevant because a lot of women just can make their own money, and these are known like these are. I don't think you have so far any disagreement with me, right?
I do.
So
Because
okay, go ahead.
you insinuate basically that women work because the government wants the woman to work. And I think that's historically just pretty wrong.
No,
Uh, because I
women
think
can
it's
only work in
I think it's pretty obvious why women work. I think it has started once women have always worked. Just as a side note, like
yeah,
women have always worked, maybe not in the
yeah,
economy
yeah.
workplace, but they worked at home. And the moment that industrialization came along, and all of a sudden, like I can give you the example of Germany. So firstly, before being a mother in a household was a full-time job, so you didn't even have any time to do anything else. I mean, you're from I don't know if North Africa is it called is it considered the Middle East? I always feel like it is the Middle East, but
It is just North Africa.
okay, it's just not Africa. But I guess you also have seen probably a rural area in North Africa, and the still like being a woman and keeping a household, even though there is some technology there and stuff like that, is still a bigger job than it is currently with washing machine and all of this other gears. But then
Okay,
the actual point when women started working was when industrialization made it possible that the tasks that before required a lot of muscle work were now not requiring muscle work anymore, and now women
of
were able to
course,
work.
of course,
So it's
of
not
course,
like
no
the
one.
government. It's not like the government was sitting there thinking, how can we make
Uh,
women work? It's like
it,
women
it
have
it was not the way I intended it. What I meant is,
okay.
now that we have a safe society, now that we have a safe
But
society,
why
now
did you
that
talk about
we have
taxes?
an
Why did you talk about the government? You prefaced everything by saying the government always wants more taxes. So women working brings it more taxes, and then you said
yeah,
and
but
then women started working, and
it
I
was
feel like all
implied.
of that
It was
implies
implied.
that the state has made it such that women can work.
Okay, it is implied that women can only work in a society that is already established this well, where we have where we have actually get rid of all the muscle job, and women now can work and produce the same as men, now, of course, it was implied that only then the government can look at them and incite them to work. Because I know it's
But
not
the
easy
government
to
doesn't do
prove, but
that.
there have been
It
a
just
lot of
happens.
there have been in the media and stuff in the 80s or 70s, or I can't tell the exact period of time, where there was how to say this, a glorification of women like being independent, which is the wave of feminism. So the wave of feminism through media has incentivized women to work, even the women who could but didn't want to,
You
or
believe that?
women who did like some side jobs, some she could take rid of some tasks, something. Now she is forced, no, not forced, but well, to provide for herself, she's forced to work not such a glamorous job, like starting level jobs. So
You
you
think
get
that
the
that's
point,
how
right?
it started? Not really, because you think that's how it started. That the government started putting up ads, and then women started working, saying because,
No, not
for
not
example,
not not at.
I can tell
Do you
you,
know
I can tell you, for example,
okay.
in Germany, how a lot of women working started, as far as I know, is that during the war period, like even though we already had industrialization, women working was pretty not that frequent, especially not in factory jobs. They were working as secretaries and stuff like that, and like not muscle necessitating jobs. But for example, in factories, the way it was that is that in war period, when all the men were in at war, women were put in the factories to continue to create ammunition and stuff like that. And then after the war stopped, basically the factory owners figured out, hey, we can even pay them less, and they can still do the job. And basically that was all also huge bump up. So it's not like it just at some point started, but it was gradually like the more capable, the more possible it was for women to work, the more women worked. So
Okay, okay. Then let's say whatever made women work, they now work. You at least you
sure.
agree with that, that now they work.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree 100%.
Oh, okay. So because whether there was some evil plan or it was just the how we evolved, for example, there is this book that talks that every society ends, like every organism ends by a society that thrives so much that it starts to cater to women needs, and that's how it starts rolling down. So now that women work, because the society allows us to have women work, women are not interested in the financial abilities of a man. And other factors such as physical attractiveness and social status has taken more place into the dating world. And since the disappearance of religion also combined, sorry, these are a lot of subjects. I'm just trying to get to a point, right?
Sure.
Now
But
women
I
are not
guess that's
interested.
wait,
Now,
do you want me to interject if I disagree? If I think that something's factually wrong?
if you just hear my last point,
I'm
if
not sure if
because
it
whether
matters.
yeah, okay, so I'll just start the point by the end, just so
Sure.
you can understand what I'm trying to get at. Okay.
Sure.
The thing is that since women are not interested in their an average woman is not interested in the average man. For example, a woman is not interested in the guy who would have matched with her like hundreds of years ago, and we have the dynamics where there is no incentive for monogamy. We do not have children. The dating market is all skewed, and we have less children. And if I had a problem to fix, that will be the problem to fix. Even if immigration is a quick solution for 5, 10 years, if I do not fix the childbirth situation, we will just have the population from the south just all move up to the top and start another cycle of problems. So now you can see where I'm trying to get at with this.
Sure, but I disagree 100%. Like I think that there's really a lot of points that are completely wrong. I mean, the first one that I disagree with 100% is that uh, just as a general, I'll just go through them. I mean, the the idea that women are not interested in men that are high, they still, even though this dynamic is going away more and more, still it is the case that women are interested in all of these old attributes that were prevalent before women were able stop working started working. So it's still like statistically, if you look at it, it's still that women mostly look for someone who's earning more money, still looking for someone who's more intelligent, and that this also supersedes like looks. by a lot, and this is just statistically proven. I mean, you can just.
Interject
I
here
mean,
just a second? I
sure,
will not
but
debate
sure,
on the
but
importance.
there is
uh,
other points that I
One
want to
second.
get to as well. Sure.
Yeah, just this specific point because I don't want to like argue about the importance of looks. You have that a lot of videos I have
Yeah,
seen in the past. I'm not gonna argue about the importance of looks. I'm just saying that even if what you're saying is true and women are interesting in men who are making more money than them anyway, but women they are very advantaged in like going to college. By
that's a
statistics, they're
different
going to
point.
college
Please, that's
more.
a completely different point. That's a completely different point.
Okay, and even at a job, even at a job, an 18-year-old man and an 18-year-old woman who both apply at the same job, the 18-year-old woman is at her peak. The 18-year-old man is nothing. He has nothing going for him. So even by the
That's
starting
also a
point, the
different point.
woman who is they both contribute to the fact that even if the women are interested in men who make more than them, most men do not make more than most women. So even then, you have women who are not interested in men. So even if they start at the
Sure,
same level, the woman is gonna make more money, and
but
then she's not interested in that guy. She's interested in the guy who is better than her. And if every woman is interested in the guy that is better than her, you can see where that goes. So
but that's
it is back to the point.
but that's
Even
a
if we get
completely different point.
even if we
That's
get
a
looks,
that's a
even
that's
if we
that's
get looks out of
that's true, but for a different reason, and I agree with you on that point. But that's a completely different reason. You have said that because that the women are working now, these aspects are not important anymore, and I disagree with that, and that still holds, right?
okay, you can agree that they are
But
less important.
yes, I, I agree that they're less important, but they're still not the deciding factor. When you look at the statistics, it's still mostly the old values that count. It's still mostly the because I mean, okay, I'm pretty pedantic about like the statements that you make. So when you say that, and then I say, okay, that's not true because of that, and then you say, yeah, but it's true because of other reasons. We can then we just move to another topic, and that's not so. So we will just get distracted and distracted. By the way, I agree with you that it is the case that uh, one of the reasons why so many men are not able to find a partner is because they are more and more have more and more difficulties to be more successful than most women. That was your point, right? But that proves my point that women are still looking for the old values in men, which is to be more successful, which was my original point.
Okay,
Do you agree?
at
Okay, wait, we
the
have to
end,
go further.
the
No, no,
end
no, no,
point
no, no,
is
no.
that
You I had to no wait. I had to wrap it all up and bring it back. So now I have to continue with your first thesis
go
that you
ahead,
put on.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And so then you say that the birth rate is due to so then you say, okay, men can't find partners, women don't find men attractive, therefore we have a low birth rate, right? That's basically the last part of your
Uh,
argument. That's what
there
you
is the
said.
fact that monogamy is not encouraged. That also is included. You cannot
Okay, but that's a
go. You can
different.
because
But wait,
no,
but that's not a problem. That would not be a problem. We could just impregnate all women with just 20% of the population of men, right?
but
So
then
so
but
that
then
would not be
you create
necessary.
a lot of unmotivated men. You create a lot of unmotivated men. You
We
can
don't
see the
care. We
problem.
don't we don't care. We just want people, right? We just have to fix our demographic. We just have to fix our that was the point that you were trying to make. You said you're an expert in trying to fix the birth rate,
If
the
if if
fertility.
if if, every, if everything I said didn't matter, you wouldn't have had a lower. Then how do you explain the low birth rate that you have, the low fertility rate that you have in Germany right now, or in any, or in the whole world, because it's
Wait,
dropping everywhere?
I can get to that, but do you agree that we would be able to impregnate women in the necessary amount in order to not suffer demographically just by women being impregnated by 20% of men?
I cannot agree even in
Wait,
theory
what?
because
This
the
is
fact
mathematics.
I because in the whole society is based on the fact that if you work as a man, or if you improve as a man, or anything you do as a man can get you a better or more women. So if you get rid of that incentive and you say like, okay, we allow these selection of men to impregnate all the women, then
No, no.
these men, the 80 the big chunk of men will know for sure that they have no chance, and then you have men who won't do anything. You see the point?
No, why?
If
Why? You,
80%
you
of
just
men
put
are
them
not
in a
gonna
simulation.
participate,
You just give them a sex doll. You just put them in a simulation. Doesn't matter. We don't care about that. We just. I'm just asking you. The unmotivation
you're
question is
telling me you
completely
don't
different.
care about
That's a completely
you want to
different
fix the
question.
birth rate, but you cannot want to fix the birth rate and at the same sentence tell me that you don't care about 80% of the male population. And so you want to fix the birth rate, but at the same time you're gonna make the life worse for the majority of the population that works. So
But isn't that already
how
your
does that
claim that this that's how society is? Isn't that already isn't aren't you already saying that that's the case?
it I am saying that it is this bad. What you're
Okay,
saying is
but
that
then
we
then it
must
can't be the reason.
encourage you want to encourage. You see what I'm saying is the reason I'm saying that now the a few men are enjoying the dating market and a
Yeah,
lot of women are competing for them.
yeah.
For example, just saying
Wait,
in
wait.
theory, if monogamy was forced, if monogamy was enforced by some power, right? If monogamy was enforced, the men who are playing this game, they will have to leave with one woman each, for example, in theory, right? And then we will have women, like in theory, if even that's how it works, having to go for lesser and lesser men. But that is not a realistic solution. But what you're going the other way and encouraging women to just procreate with the top 20%
I'm
of
not
men,
encouraging
saying like,
anyone.
okay,
You
yeah,
seem to think
any policy, any
you
policy
seem
that
to
will,
think that my argument is I am a city builder in a simulation. That's not the case. I'm just saying.
you
Wait,
said it,
wait,
you
man.
said,
You have to let me answer your stuff.
okay,
Okay.
go ahead, go ahead.
You are saying women don't find most men attractive, therefore low birth rate. That's what you said.
There,
And
there are a
I'm
few
saying,
points in between.
yeah, but let's get into that.
You,
Let's get into that because if you say if that's your argument, if you say that most women find most men unattractive, therefore low birth rate, I can just say it is completely possible that women are being impregnated by just the ones that they find attractive, and we would still have a good birth rate. And you just have to
okay,
agree with that. That's just logically the truth. If that's a good
woman,
society, if that's a better society or
I
not,
can, I can say,
if that's nice or not, if you like that, if that hurts your feeling or not, that's not important. That's all not important. Just
okay,
mathematically, logically, that's the case. And then you can get now you can get into the steps that are missing, the links that you want to put there, that brings you from most women find most men unattractive to low birth rate. Now you can go.
okay, I can tell you why. Even if you impregnate women with with the men that are participating in the game, even if you impregnate women like that, it will be one, or in the best case scenario, two children per woman, because you can check that well,
Why?
you can agree with this logically or not. In the traditional families where there was a man who was working and a woman who did like the chores at home, they had on the average more children than the women we have right now. They had like three, four, five. I don't know what the numbers, but significantly more. And the average was way above two. Now, in order to have the average above two, you need to have a lot of families or a lot of women in Germany that have three, four children. You cannot have each woman have one child and think that's gonna fix the
Why
problem.
is that
You
not
need to
possible
them to
with
have two
why is that not possible with one guy impregnating?
with the strategy. Yeah, yeah. This is why, because these women, once they have their first child and they have to jungle between working, because these are career women, and the child they have, they think it's not probably the best idea to have a second and a
Oh,
third one.
that's
They fuck
interesting.
that up. You have to understand.
Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. So that's the real reason why they're not
It's a
making
fact.
children. That's the real reason. Now we're at the real reason why they're not making children, which is has nothing to do with them not liking men or liking men. It's about career, right? And that's the case if we are in a monogamous, completely monogamous world or not. People in relationships choose not to get children because of career. So it has nothing to do
Okay.
with women not liking men, and that's all besides the point. That's not
Okay.
important.
So, your next argument is even if they're in a couple, like in a family, they need two incomes to survive. That's your next argument, right? Because if I tell you why don't a man just work and a woman stays home with the children, you tell me that in this economy they need two salaries to survive. You agree with this
No, not
narrative, right?
necessarily. No, not necessarily. It's also culturally. It's also like what the woman wants from her life in a sense. Like what culturally makes her feel like she has lived a fulfilled life. And I think that a lot of women in modern societies really get a lot of pleasure out of being independent, earning a lot of money, and creating a career for themselves. And that's part of it as well. And also, like for men, it's the same thing. Like it used to be for men really important to have like an heir and to have to leave something to the world, so, like something genetically to leave something, and that also is reduced by quite a lot. Like a lot of men are also not that motivated as they used to have a son or to have a daughter, or they, like like all of that's also in the past. So I think it's way more cultural than financial.
Okay, so you accepted that the fact that men and women would want children is something of the past. So it is something that has been culturally in, for example, it was the fashionable thing to do. It was what people would do, and now it's less the case. And
Yeah,
whatever
but
the reason is,
it might change again, but I'm not sure if that will happen. But it might also culturally revert back to the old way it was.
and
You would never
do you
know.
have a theory on that how it happened, or you just think through something you cannot know?
I mean, I think about romantic. Do you know about romanticism, like as a like literary period in, or also like a cultural period in Europe? It's like the going back to religion, and like going back to from this illumination of Kant, and like all of this scientification of everything, going back to a more spiritual and a more, yeah, that's where the
And
word
you
romantic
think,
comes
or,
from. This could be
or
this could obviously happen.
okay, then let me then put it
And
this way:
just
if a society that
let me give you one more reason why I think this could happen, is that you could also work on making all of the things that people like make child getting children so much more easy for people with technology, that it just becomes something completely different than what it used to be, and all of the reasons why people don't make children right now could disappear with technology. That could also be a reason why it comes back.
I think making robot workers would like I don't know. It would be interesting to see. I can see like why you think like we both agree that it has to be some going back to religion or monogamy or some way for the mass majority of people to start creating families
Not
again.
monogamy at all. Like there is so many examples of no, it monogamy is not really necessary for that. Like not
Okay,
logically, and not like in any sense, it's not necessary. And not even every
okay.
every every man procreating is necessary for saving the birth rate. If I would be I already said that to another guest on the stream. If I would be an alien producer of human beings that just tries to produce the human beings in a row, I could just take all females and a select group of maybe 5 to 10% of men, and not even that. I think we could go way lower, like 1% of men, and be able to impregnate all women on the planet, right? That would just mathematically work, since a man can come every, like, depending on your stamina, quite a few times per
If
day.
he doesn't have realistically, he doesn't have to fuck them. You can just take the sperm and just
Yes.
distribute it on all these women.
No,
That's it.
I I I, I
So,
mean I mean just, yeah.
but every solution that is directed through that, we don't care who has the children. We just need more children. We like the people who end up suffering is the majority of men. The ones that can tell me again, you don't care about the feelings, but why these feelings are important is because that's how the members of society even participate in the society to begin with. Because if you have them completely demotivated like that, you don't have workers. So your only way to say, I can listen to you if you tell me that, okay, then we will have AI and robots and replace workers, then I can listen to this argument. But if you want to conserve humans as humans, which is another philosophical questions, then you will have to do something about it. Because,
No, wait. Yeah,
and this is to
okay.
finish up
Yeah.
I've just finished up the philosophical point, because I believe that if a society reached a point where, for example, they don't like Japan, for example, or South Korea, the one that is going down the first, right? If they reached a point where they have so many points in their culture that do not allow childbirth, then when that culture disappears from the face of Earth, or quote unquote gets replaced by other people that they bring in as immigration, or they just disappear, then in theory, they just deserve to disappear in some sort of way, because they chose culturally what's like, you wanted to decide what women feel like they want, they find more fulfillment in career, where women find more fulfillment in career, you allow that to happen, now you don't have children, and now you disappeared, and now there are other people who do not let women work, for example. You see the what you think is important.
Okay, a
Do you
few
get my point
things.
or not? Because
Yeah, I kind of get it, of course, but yeah. I mean, firstly, I do care about the men that are not procreating, and I do care about their feelings, and I think, and I am also, even though I disagree with you, I am not against monogamy. I'm actually in favor of. I think at the time, monogamy is like the best model that we have right now for relationships, and also for procreation, and for, yeah, for, it's a pretty good model, and it seems to work. And I know that this is a controversial thing to say in black pill circuits, but monogamy is still, like, most people are still very monogamous, and most people still want to have one partner, and most people still have the dream of this one partner for life. It's just the case. You don't have to agree. I know that you disagree,
yeah,
but
I
sure,
won't agree,
let's not
but
get
let's
into
not
it.
go.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah, yeah,
But then let's get to the point of you saying, okay, if they allow women to work, then they deserve to disappear. That's not really a choice that you have. Like, that's just not the way it works. Like, I think it's good that women are able to work, even if it might have consequences that are potentially negative for me. But the that doesn't matter to me, and also at the end of the day, it's not really a matter of choice. You can't just prohibit a woman to work. It's not going to work. And like, no society, like, in no country in this world has not had a big wave of feminism. Like, even Saudi Arabia, even in Saudi Arabia,
I know.
women are getting their rights, and it's not because everybody is so nice to women. It's not because people want to give these rights to women. It's because they have to.